Every moment of every day, we have choices. Choices about what we do with our thoughts, how we manage our feelings, how we see the world, how we respond, how we interact. The human experience can be just this crazy, sometimes out of control barrage of information and feelings that goes way too fast to actually incorporate and handle in the spur of the moment. But nevertheless, here we are. So what's important to you? Do you really want to get lost in this flurry of cosmic intelligence that seems sometimes to be on the verge of chaos? Do you really want to see it as lacking in any order? Can you really deny that there's an infinite intelligence behind all of that is happening? To do so, you really have to turn a blind eye to the evidence. Whether you think you're a creative or a scientist or a pragmatist, it doesn't really matter. The evidence is everywhere. It has to be a decision not to see it. But once you begin seeing the evidence, you're going to begin asking yourself, what's more important? Where do you want to place your attention? What do you want to feel? What do you want to spend all of those moments thinking about? Anyone that does this for a certain amount of time will begin to understand that peace and love and higher awareness begins to be the desired focus. And even if you don't know how to do it yet, you will look for ways to accomplish this. And once you start looking, the answers will appear. It may take some time, but for those who are accomplished at this, the world can transform from the one where appearances present chaos you can look beyond the scenes of reality and decide for yourself to be at peace, to be loving. And when you can't find the love that you feel that you need by looking out of your eyes and into the world that's around you, the environment, the people, the society, you will literally be forced to turn inward and find those things for yourself, because they have always been inside of you. What you seek is seeking you from the inside. You simply give it to yourself. It's not that hard. You do have to turn away from the world long enough to look on the inside, to find your strength, to find your resilience, to find the love you've always been looking for. And when you do, you can look back into the world and see what is already here. Not what is all wrong with the world, but what is right with the world. You can see the miracle tremendous amount of love that humanity holds. The goodness, the growth, the evolution, instead of the chaos and the disorder and the fear. The same processes are going on, but you can see them in a different way. And for those who are even ready to go beyond what I call the matrix of reality, and many others have said that too, you can actually begin to bend reality. Because in an ultimate sense, all that you see, all that you experience, is yours. A person cannot see that when they're caught up in the matrix of what's happening, because the drama is just too rich. It captures all of your attention, and you have no time or no attention left to see beyond it. So it comes always back to choice. What's more important to you? The trauma and the drama and the negativity and the histrionics of all that is playing out in this earth play of humanity? Or are you finally willing to see beyond it, look beyond it, go beyond it? Here in the desert of Tucson, the sun sets every night. The birds do what they do, the rabbits hop around. A few days ago I was visited by a bobcat. The rest of life goes on, regardless of your personal trauma and drama. The peace and the love is always waiting for you to return to it. My favorite quote for the last several years has been one by Lao Tzu, which goes, "By letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. But for those who try and try, the world is beyond the winning." Personally, I spent years diving into that one quote to understand its deeper meanings. And I'll share some of that with you now. It's talking about letting go of your expectations of the world, and not only of the world, but of yourself, of who you are, what you are, anything that it contains the word supposed to. You let all of that shit go. And the play of humanity on earth, you let it all go. When the world captures too much of your attention, it's got you. The matrix has you. You're lost in a dream. And you can be lost within a dream, within a dream, within a dream. But when you let the world go, and you let yourself go, and open up to the unexpected, then it has at least more of a chance to arrive and surprise the crap out of you. It will. Because there's so much more to what's going on here than the Matrix story will tell you. So if you think your life has run out of adventures, and there's nothing left to explore, and you're feeling a lack of inspiration or fear about what's next, what's to come, what will happen of me, then become the explorer and go where so few have gone before. Even if you don't trust what I say, take it as a challenge. Let the world go. Let yourself go. You'll have to do it your own way. People could guide you, but it's such a process. It's going to be your own way, your own process. The adventure is just beginning. All of this gets into a place of deeper consciousness where one starts questioning the roles of the human experience versus the roles of what I call the quantum self-experience or the source self-experience. And this literally does come from quantum physics, as finding a few words that may mean something to you. There is an information field in all of physical reality that science calls literally just information. It is not energy. I call this information field infinite intelligence or source. And every living being has access to this field. Nature communicates through the quantum field. The forest knows when you enter it as soon as you step in. So many relationships in nature between the different species. Biochemical, information field, things that science has barely even touched yet. Everything is communicating. Humans, we tend to get out of touch with this field. This connection that is built right in, that everyone has. If you will but turn towards that field, your quantum source, your God, your higher self, whatever word that means something to you there, start tuning into that aspect of you, just as much as you do being a physical being. And you might find that you can you at least begin creating a balance between the two simultaneously. And then life really gets interesting. You begin to understand that as a human being, you have a job to do. And the source you, the quantum you inside, also has a job to do. And yet both are one and the same. It's just kind of like artificially dividing the oneness up into two different aspects and creating a relationship out of it. An infinite relationship. In fact, imagine seeing the infinity symbol, and as energy and information flow back and forth within this infinity symbol, it flows from the physical self into the source self, and back into the physical self, and back into the source self, infinitely. And so your human self has a role, has a job, as does your source self. And the best that I've ever been able to ascertain of what your jobs are and what your purpose is comes down to one saying. Oversimplified, of course, but that's the way sayings go. And it is thus: our only purpose is to allow and follow our God-given desires. And the universe's only purpose is to provide and fulfill them. In that quote, I used universes, or the universe, as another way to express Source or God. We are here to be creators. And actually, the way that I like to think about it is to, instead of being all locked up in control and forcing things to happen, that we flow with what is already organic. And yet that doesn't mean that we have no control. I know that didn't make too much sense. But here it's kind of like a prayer. We request the reality that can come into being to our source self. That is allowing the God-given desire to come in. It's a desire that's already there. If we stop blocking and open to our inner self, then we do become more inspired. We do have God-given desires. We always have all sorts of human desires, and some may call them lower desires. But ones that truly inspire, that truly motivate us, are really given to us. We're players in the play. And God is asking us, in a way, just let it flow. Let it come in. Believe and trust in an infinite universe. Just let the winds blow through you. You are my flute. Let me play you. You are my drum. Let me be your heartbeat. Ask and you shall receive. Request the next reality that you desire, and I will give it to you. All of that doesn't happen easily. Any one of us has to do some work. We have to know ourselves. Know thyself. It can take a lifetime. Lifetimes. Who knows? It's consciousness boring into itself to understand all the different processes of how we make decisions, how we place values, how we choose morals, what's important to us, what we believe about reality and the world, what is possible, what is not possible, where we fit in. It's endless. Consciousness is endless. This is the leading edge of spirit in physical form on earth, being human right here and right now. No matter what the play is presenting, no matter what it looks like, this is really where spirit wants to be. How do I know that? Because we're here. We would not be here otherwise. I've had a lifetime of enjoying a rich dreaming world. Well, not always enjoying. Sometimes my dreams were so deep and powerful that they were also nightmares. But from that world, I developed a deep connection to inner consciousness that many other people probably would not understand. They would not have the same data and experiences that I do, so how could they? And then 8 years ago, thanks to a gift that just fell into my lap, I was able to create an inner journey to meld with the universe, what the Buddhists call the one mind state. I became Source itself. I was everything and nothing. I was everywhere and nowhere. I was everyone and no one. I knew everything and knew nothing. It was just the most amazing experience. It felt like 1,000 near-death experiences rolled into one. And to be honest, since then, life has both been a blessing and a bit of a curse for me personally. It gives the human mind a lot to deal with. But my point would be that we are endless beings. We have infinite potential. We are the creators in that we request the realities to come into being. And Source, or the information field, the quantum field, is actually the creator. We are the requesters. That's the way I personally say it. But we really have to get into alignment of knowing ourself and both aspects of that self to work this process. And that's just the beginning. It's really difficult to imagine how far we can change reality, how far it can bend. As Christ had once said, according to the quotes, oh shoot, what's that one about moving mountains? Believe and the mountain will move. Something like that. Oh. You know, just living sometimes captures our attention, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's great to experience being alive and having all the sensations that we do as people. And that is a real gift. That's why we're here. There's nothing wrong with being here. We should never be trying to escape this world, but rather making the most of it. At the same time, pulling in new possibilities from the quantum realm, from the Source realm, from the God realm. This is heaven on earth. It always has been. And there's the other side too, but you know, wherever you go, there you are. It's all heaven. Don't choose the noise of the world. Choose deeper in yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Namaste.